Back in the early 2000s, everybody was speaking about snakes on a plane. I couldn't walk down the street or even go to class without at least one person saying, "Snakes on a plane, eh?" I mean, even parody movies got a hold of the trend.
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
So have I!
The weird thing was that despite all of the hype and chatter surrounding the movie, it only managed to pull in a whopping 62 million, a mere 26 million above its budget. So where did they go wrong? Welcome to Rotten Damians. Today we are discussing why Snakes on a Plane slithered into cult classic status. As somebody with an extreme fear of snakes, I mean so bad that I literally check my bed for snakes every single night, this video took a lot to make, so like, comment and subscribe. Once New Line Cinema came abroad, they changed the name to Pacific Air 121. Samuel L. motherfucking Jackson refused to accept this, and during interviews he would say that he's working on this movie titled Snakes on a Plane, forcing New Line to change the movie back to its original title. Later, Jackson would tell Entertainment Weekly, "Are you out of your fucking minds? How else are you going to get people into the movie? Nobody wants to see Pacific Air 121. People either want to see this movie or they don't. So let them know, if you're coming to see this movie, you're going to see a plane full of deadly ass snakes." That's what it should be called, deadly ass snakes on a plane. New Line also originally wanted the movie to be PG-13, but ultimately they decided to change it to R-rated and perform a 4-month reshoot to add some iconic scenes like the Mile High scene and Sam's iconic line.
"I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane."
But anyway, I think that's enough background about Pacific Air 121, I mean, snakes on a plane. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The movie begins with Sean Jones in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lawyer suddenly slithers into view, pun intended, forcing Sean to hide behind a bush. A crime lord named Eddie Kim then approaches the lawyer and beats him with a bat. The lawyer was publicly working against Eddie to try and arrest him, so Eddie organized to catch and off him. Sean manages to get on his dirt bike and escape, but he also alerts the gangsters that he witnessed the scene. Sean gets home and watches the event that he just witnessed on the news. Also, side note, can you guess who sponsored this movie? He hears something at the door and looks through the peephole, seeing the same gangsters from before with guns. He goes outside trying to escape, where Sam L. Jackson grabs him and says,
"Do as I say and you live."
Jackson's character Neville Flynn is an FBI agent also trying to bring down Eddie Kim. Neville and Sean get away and Sean agrees to testify against Eddie. However, he can only do this in LA. So now they need to catch a plane so that Sean can go on stand. Honestly, it's a pretty decent setup for the movie. It adds a motive to the snakes being on the plane and a sense of urgency, because if Sean gets attacked, that means Eddie gets away. The only bad thing is that Eddie is the worst actor in the movie.
He saw me!
He's just a little too over the top. Eddie manages to find out which plane Sean will be flying on, which is
South Pacific Air 121.
That's just a nice little Easter egg to the movie. Eddie loads the plane with a great deal of dangerous venomous snake species. He also sprays the lays that are handed to passengers with a pheromone that makes the snakes aggressive. The container holding the snakes is rigged to a timer, which once it goes off, sets them free. The timer goes off, setting the snakes free, and it's a bloodbath. There are too many snake attack scenes for me to discuss, so I'll mention the 3 that engraved themselves into my mind. Firstly, the Mile High Club scene. Secondly, the bathroom scene. And thirdly, the R scene. I do want to point out that although these scenes are horrific, the movie contrasts them nicely with comedic elements. For example, while the couple getting freaky in the bathroom are being attacked, this happens outside.
Oh, this guy is really good.
It's a nice change of events and makes the movie a lot more tolerable. Originally, the director wanted real venomous snakes on set. However, he was advised against it because obviously that's stupid. So instead, lookalike snakes were used, like moke snakes and the tiger rat snake. There were also only 60 real snakes on set. The director found that the snakes got tired and didn't move how they wanted them to. So they used CGI, which actually looked really good considering this movie was released in 2006. Flight attendant Ken grabs a snake and tosses it into the microwave, where for some reason he activates the snake setting. I guess they make microwaves different in Hawaii, because mine sure as hell does not have a snake setting. Long story short, the two pilots are attacked by snakes, leading to their demise. Oh, and the cockpit is full of snakes. So Neville says his iconic line,
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Everyone straps themselves to their seats and he shoots a couple of windows out. He then opens the door to the cockpit, sucking all of the snakes out and allowing himself and Troy to enter. Troy, who has never flown a plane before, but has logged countless hours on the PSP flight simulator,
I got over 2,000 hours.
successfully manages to land the plane. After that, the movie ends on a happy note, where an emergency response crew have anti-venom on site, so as they land, passengers who have been bitten can be saved. Neville gets a date, Sean also gets a date, and Eddie finally goes down without Sean having to testify. They managed to pin the snakes on him. The final scene shows Sean and Neville catching some waves in Los Angeles. The movie was honestly way better than I had expected. Not only was it funny, but it developed the characters enough that we care about their demise. For example, we find out that Grace is retiring after this flight, and that they gave her the option for early retirement, but she decided that she'll do this one last flight. She then sacrifices herself to save a baby, which leads to her demise. We receive a ton of little background snippets like this on a lot of characters, and it really makes you care for them. The movie was not all good, however. It sprinkles in quite a bit of misogyny and gay jokes, which comes across as a little bad taste in my opinion, but this was unfortunately a normal occurrence back in the early 2000s. All in all, the movie was incredibly entertaining with a great story, great acting, and a terrifying premise. I give the movie 6 Rotten Damians out of 10, and if you've never seen it, it's worth a watch. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Before you go, why not check out my video on an American werewolf in London?